The Avatar Last Airbender Book 2 Earth Review. So this season was pretty good. But most of it centered on one location. At least most of the second half of the season centered on one location. It was pretty. It was kind of boring. It got kind of boring at the boring in the episodes leading up to the end. But episodes 19 and 20 were both funny, both made up for it. I feel like episode 15 to 18 were the episodes where it sort of felt more like it wasn't the best. It was better than season 1. At least season 1 was very experimental, and by this season it's found its footing. Season 3 so far seems to have gone back to a little experimentalness. The characters are good. Good. Their main mode of transportation is taken away for a while this season. So there ends up not being a lot of transportation during the season. Zuko and Iroh were pretty good characters. They had their own little side arc going on. I feel like it makes sense that they weren't really the big bad this season, considering Zuko at least was pretty good and good. He had a lot of good villain moments, but now is when we see him really start to shine, especially in season 2, episode 7, which was a Zuko episode. A lot of the stuff that happens is just super good. It's of course well animated. That's a given for any Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's a new character, and during that new character was pretty cool character. They certainly took a while to get to the actual part of it, bending part of it. You know, the season is literally named Earth, and so it doesn't quite make sense. Almost the entire half of the first half of the season sort of felt like it didn't know where it was going until episode 6. And that's not a good thing. It was sort of all over the place. Season 1 at least managed to, even though they were going on all these random adventures, they at least managed to sort of have a reason for those adventures at first. First in a clear destination to where they were going in clear goals in every episode, but now it sort of just feels a little disconnected. It did in the first half of the season. I'm glad they stepped up their game for the first half of the second half of the season, and of course the final episode of the season. There are a lot of good moments this season. I cannot say I don't like it. It has its flaws. As I went over, the pacing is sometimes a little weird, but weird. All the characters weird, and it feels like they really didn't know what to do with Sokka this season. And the way they really handled the characters was cool. But this season came out 20 years ago, so I can't really hold anything against it. Except I could. That's the thing. I can hold things against it, because as we know, well, any Avatar: The Last Airbender fan knows Avatar: The Last Airbender is very capable of having amazing writing, amazing animation, which it did have, and just amazing art, which it also did have actually. Zuko and Iroh were kind of the only ones with an art. Yeah. Sure, we have Aang's ongoing art. I feel like, but I feel like the new character also came with some new villains, which were they managed to connect to the original villain in a way that was meaningful. They were pre-existing characters that appeared in one part of season season one, and so it doesn't feel like they're coming out of nowhere. Where even though it did feel like they were coming out of nowhere when at least one of them appeared in season one. Though I feel like though there's some unresolved plot points and stuff. A lot of it, of course, season 3. He's starting off pretty good, I said, but pretty experimental. Till it does help to further the arc it's going for. Or 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 and it's a good addition to the series overall. That's my review for Avatar: The Last Airbender season 2.